In the quiet moments of reflection, many individuals come face to face with a harsh truth: their kindness, though abundant, has often gone unnoticed, unappreciated, or even exploited. Being the nice guy can feel like both a virtue and a curse. The world may celebrate the kind-hearted, yet it often overlooks their sacrifices, leaving them drained and unfulfilled. Zen philosophy teaches, a tree that bears too many fruits becomes a target of stones. Similarly, when one gives too much without balance, they become vulnerable to exploitation. This is not to say kindness is wrong, far from it. The challenge lies in learning to channel kindness wisely, with discernment and boundaries. Through the lens of Zen and Buddhist teachings, this story unfolds, offering guidance on how to stop being the nice guy while retaining the essence of compassion. Once, there was a man renowned for his generosity and kindness. He helped everyone, from strangers to acquaintances, never uttering the word no. His neighbors often remarked, "He is the kindest soul. He gives without expecting anything in return." At first, this brought him immense joy. Each act of kindness felt like a light in the darkness. However, as time passed, the joy began to fade. The very people he had helped started demanding more from him, not out of need, but expectation. His evenings were no longer peaceful. His days were filled with endless tasks for others. He began to feel invisible, as though his kindness had erased his own identity. One evening, feeling overwhelmed, he sought the guidance of a Zen master. Kindness without wisdom is a double-edged sword. The master welcomed him with a serene smile and listened patiently as the man poured out his frustrations. "Master, I am drowning in the weight of my own kindness. I cannot say no, yet I feel as though my life is not my own." The master responded, "Kindness without wisdom is like a river without banks, it floods and destroys rather than nourishes. You must learn the balance of giving." The man, puzzled, asked, "But how can kindness harm?" The master pointed to a cup of tea. "If I pour endlessly into this cup, will it not overflow and spill onto the ground? Your kindness is the same. If you give endlessly, without considering your own limits, it will overflow into resentment and exhaustion." This teaching highlights that kindness must be paired with self-awareness. True compassion involves understanding when to give and when to step back. Being a nice guy often stems from a fear of rejection or a desire for validation. But Zen teaches that kindness must originate from inner strength, not weakness, the illusion of approval. The man, still confused, asked, "But what if people think less of me if I stop helping them?" The master led him to a quiet garden. Pointing to a flower, he said, "Does this flower seek the approval of those who walk past? Does it bloom for applause?" The man shook his head. "No, it simply blooms." "Exactly," said the master. "Seeking approval is like chasing the wind, you will never catch it. The true essence of kindness is to act from the heart, not for the praise of others." The man began to understand. His kindness was driven by a deep-seated need to be liked, to avoid conflict, and to feel worthy. Many nice guys fall into the trap of people-pleasing, believing their worth is tied to others' approval. Zen teaches that true fulfillment comes from within, not from external validation. To break free, one must learn to value themselves independently of others' opinions, the power of no. The man asked, "How do I say no without feeling guilty?" The master handed him a broom and asked him to sweep the garden. After an hour of sweeping, the master placed a large rock in his path. "Now sweep around it," he instructed. The man tried but quickly grew frustrated. "The rock is in the way." The master smiled. "Exactly. Sometimes, a firm no is the rock that protects your path. Saying no is not selfish, it is an act of clarity." The man nodded. "But what if people think I am unkind?" The master replied, "A wise person once said, you are not responsible for how others perceive your boundaries. True kindness is being honest about your limits. Saying no is not an act of cruelty but of self-respect." Zen philosophy emphasizes authenticity. Being true to oneself is the highest form of integrity. Learning to say no allows one to conserve energy for what truly matters, the balance of giving and receiving. The man then asked, "If I stop giving so much, will I not lose my sense of purpose?" The master guided him to a well. "Draw some water," he instructed. The man drew a bucket full of water. "Now pour it back into the well," the master said. The man hesitated but did as he was told. The master explained, "This well represents your spirit. If you keep drawing water without replenishing it, the well will run dry. Giving and receiving must exist in harmony." The man realized that he had given so much to others that he had forgotten to care for himself. Buddhism teaches the concept of equanimity, a balance between self and others. Overgiving disrupts this balance, leaving one depleted. To stop being the nice guy, one must learn to give from abundance, not emptiness. Kindness is not weakness. The man, now contemplative, asked, "If I become less giving, will people see me as selfish or weak?" The master chuckled. "Strength is not measured by how much you give, but by how well you preserve your essence. A tree does not cut its roots to feed its branches." The man reflected on this. He had always equated kindness with self-sacrifice, but now he saw that true kindness included protecting his own well-being. Many nice guys equate kindness with weakness, believing they must endure mistreatment to be considered good. Zen philosophy reframes kindness as an act of strength, helping others without compromising oneself. Embrace solitude. The man asked one final question: "What if I lose people by changing?" The master gestured to the surrounding mountains. "Even the tallest peaks stand alone, yet they touch the sky." Solitude is not loneliness, it is a sanctuary. The man understood that those who truly valued him would respect his boundaries. Those who left were not his true friends to begin with. Embracing solitude allows one to rediscover their inner strength. Zen teaches that relationships should enhance one's life, not drain it. By letting go of those who only take, one creates space for genuine connections. The man's journey inspired those around him. His transformation was subtle yet profound. People noticed that he no longer rushed to fulfill every request, yet his presence felt more meaningful and grounded. His acts of kindness, though fewer, carried more depth and sincerity. One day, a young seeker approached him, saying, "I have seen how you've changed. You still help others, but there is something different about you. What is your secret?" The man smiled and replied, "I learned that to truly help others, I must first help myself. I was once a river flowing aimlessly, flooding the lands without purpose. Now, I am a steady stream, nourishing only where it is needed." The seeker, curious, asked, "But how did you stop feeling guilty when you stopped saying yes to everyone?" The man looked at the setting sun and said, Guilt is a thief that robs us of our peace. It whispers lies that our worth depends on pleasing others. But I realized that by setting boundaries, I was teaching others to respect me and showing them how to respect themselves. A boundary is not a wall, it is a bridge to healthier relationships. How to apply these teachings in life. The man's story serves as a living example of Zen and Buddhist wisdom in action. To truly embrace these teachings, one must integrate them into everyday life. Here are practical steps inspired by the story. 1. Start small with boundaries. Practice saying no to minor requests that feel burdensome. For example, if someone asks for your time when you are busy, politely decline. This builds confidence in setting limits. 2. Reflect on your intentions. Before offering help, ask yourself, am I giving out of genuine care, or am I seeking approval or avoiding conflict? 3. Prioritize self-care. Dedicate time to activities that recharge you. Remember the teaching of the well, you cannot give if your own reservoir is empty. 4. Embrace discomfort. Saying no may initially feel uncomfortable, especially if others react negatively. Trust that true relationships will withstand this change, while superficial ones will fade. 5. Find solitude. Spend time alone to reconnect with your inner self. Meditation, journaling, or simply sitting in silence can help clarify your values and priorities. 6. Redefine kindness. Shift your mindset from I must help everyone to I will help when I can do so without harming myself. 7. Seek wisdom from role models. Read stories of those who balance compassion with strength. Their journeys can serve as inspiration and guidance. One day, a disciple asked a Zen teacher, "Master, is it selfish to care for myself first?" The master responded, "If you are on a boat that is sinking, would you not secure your own life vest before helping others? Only when you are safe can you save those around you. Remember, a burned-out lantern cannot light the way for others." The disciple bowed, understanding that self-care and kindness are not opposites but companions on the path to enlightenment. Kindness with balance. The journey from being a perpetual nice guy to a balanced and grounded individual is not about becoming unkind, it is about becoming wise. True kindness is not a transaction or a performance, it is an authentic expression of care rooted in self-respect. Zen teaches us that life is a delicate dance of giving and receiving, of boundaries and connection. By embracing this balance, we not only protect our inner peace but also offer others a more genuine and powerful form of compassion. As the Buddha said, you, yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection.